Money is something we invented, and it's not actually real in the way a lot of people think and believe. And of course, I'm not making some type of cliche argument that money is not something that should be desired, right? Because we need money to afford housing, we need money to afford food, we need money to afford a lot of basic things that we need to get on with our lives. But for the most part, money is, if you kind of see it for what it actually is, it's a type of social convention we created. Money is not actually valuable on its own, right? Paper, metal, plastic, any other coinage or currency or financing utility or whatever you use to trade and barter with, that currency is on its own worthless, and it's something that's just kind of imaginary, right? And this is kind of just a good place to start for some type of a sociological analysis of the human condition, right? Because we use money, something that's completely worthless on its own, right? We have to kind of imagine up like some type of rules that make money useful, right? We imagine like these rules that when you go into a shop, you have to kind of agree to the shop owner. You have to exchange him with money. You have to exchange any product he's selling for money, and then you'll get that product. That's like some type of imaginary rule we made up in our heads. And like if you were let's just kind of jump to like any animal setting, any nature, wildlife setting, right? A lion, he would not be able to like kind of barter anything with. Like, would you just currency and paper and plastic? You wouldn't be able to give that to a lion and tell it to exchange it for like some meat part or something else that you would want to get from the lion. The lion would just kind of just push it away and probably kill you and maul you to death and stuff and whatever. And this is just kind of bizarre that we're the only species that have these imaginary and literally imaginary concepts of money, of financing, of currency. It's bizarre, and it's a part of the human condition, and it's kind of just really it gives you a clue of how we're so unique and special in a lot of different ways. But money is something that's imaginary, and it demonstrates how the human psyche can be conditioned extremely well, right? How we can become completely brainwashed, because a lot of people risk their lives stealing money, something that's completely just worthless on its own. The only reason money has any type of value is because we as a society, we agreed upon money being something to use for trade and bartering with. Like if somehow, like if we were to reset society and we redid everything, right? And we just, for whatever reason, determined that money is just completely useless, the only way to barter and trade is by exchanging food and water and other things that are useful for our immediate survival, right? Then money would just turn into something that's completely worthless and not something you would want to consider. And it's bizarre, the societal conditioning that we've been raised with. It kind of gives us this strong impression that money is real and is a type of thing that we need to kind of dedicate our lives to and stuff. And of course, again, in practical terms, money is something that should be desired, right? Because without money, you would not be able to kind of afford anything. You wouldn't be able to afford to live, essentially, right? Basically, your life would just be cut short if you couldn't afford to eat, or if you couldn't afford housing, or if you couldn't afford to pay your bills. So this kind of is a cliche saying that money is the root of all evil, or money is not something that should be sought after. Money helps you stay alive, of course, but the problem is you only need so much of money. You only need so much to survive, right? You don't need to go into excess. Money shouldn't be the main focus of your life, but it's extremely important. I don't believe in these people that claim that money is completely just something that we should not even think about. Money is important. You need to afford housing, you need to pay your bills, you need to be able to stay alive. And the only way to do this is by affording all of the things necessary for this, right? But the problem is that money should never be the only thing that your life is dedicated to, and that's where a lot of people just kind of fall short in their life goals. they become completely career focused and stuff, and they go through their education system, and then they get into jobs, and then they get into work, and then money is all they're thinking about, and they get a lot of money and they buy everything they want, but then they just have this, they feel empty inside, right? And that's because money should have never been your main goal. It should have just been something to complement whatever actual goal you have, something that would actually cause you to be fulfilled, whatever that is. Either if it's some type of spiritual journey or some religious experience you're looking for, money should be able to kind of help you reach that type of destination, that type of actual fulfillment that you would probably require, right? But money is just something. Again, should never undercut the importance of money. Should never underappreciate having good finances, because money makes the world go round, as a lot of people claim and say, but it should not be the main focus. It should just it should be something that can help you progress to a goal that's actually meaningful, right? And that's something you're gonna kind of have to think about and get and kind of, yeah.